Hi, and welcome to the next chapter in our load cell hopper demonstration. And in this one, we're going to draw some graphics. It should be pretty brief. We're just going to draw two lines. So how do we draw those lines? Let's calculate where the line positions should be. So I have a 10 kilogram load cell. So if we assume that we can't go over we can't go over 10 kilograms, then how much space we're going to leave at the top of the screen, right? So let's say the line for grams needs to be where grams is. Let's do them this way. They're actually the current grams and max grams, right? So the line for grams, and so let's put the line for max grams and the line for current grams. What should their positions be, right? So the one for max grams, I'm going to say it's going to be max grams multiplied by, now there's in the display, there's always a pixel height. So hardware independent. So whatever hardware we've got in our display, that pixel height's going to be there. And now we know our font cell is 8 pixels high. So, and we've got two lines of text. So if we can subtract 16 pixels, so we multiply it by, and this is a long, so it's 32-bit integer, so this is going to work. And then we're going to divide it by 10 kgs in grams, right? Because we've got a 10 kg load cell, right? So that should scale our max gram line into the area of the display where we want to see it. And let's do the same with current grams, like that, right? So now we want to, I think we want to keep the max grams. Do we need to draw it every time? Yeah, we do. So we're going to need two global variables here. So I'm going to go with long prev max equals -1. And I'm going to do prev total as well. So yeah, I'm going to want to, let's put them up with our global variables. So all our global variables in the same place. So we're going to have a long prev max and a long prev current. And because long is a sign type, we can use -1 to initialize them. So when we initialize the screen, we can set them here to prev max equals -1, meaning it hasn't drawn anything yet. It's when we clear the screen. So when the screen is cleared, and prev current equals -1, right? So now, when we're drawing the current one, how are we going to do that? So we actually want to store it in integer, so they can actually be integers. Those two can be integers because you draw to the screen in integers, so we have to convert our value to integers anyway. So we do that. So before we draw the first one, we're going to draw it over here where we've drawn the text for the max one. So our Y position is going to be our max gram lines, but the 0 is at the top of the screen, so we're going to invert it like that. So we're going to measure from the bottom of the screen. And then we're going to say, if we haven't drawn it already, so or if it's moved. If it's not the same as it, if it's changed, only draw it if it's changed. If it hasn't changed, leave it in the same place. And this is an optimization just to make it faster. Only draw it if you actually change the value, because the max value might not change that often when you're pulling. So we say if the y is not equal to prev max, and that'll be true when it's -1 as well on the first time. So if it's not the same, then we're going to go display horizontal line. And if you go and look at the display unit, you'll see all the horizontal, is that spelled horizontal? Horizontal line. And from the left end of the screen is 0. And we want to draw it at Y. And the right hand of the side of the screen is pixel width -1 because it starts from 0. And we'll draw it in the same color that the main text has been drawn in. And I know that the default, well, it's actually the foreground color, I guess. So if we go to display, do we have foreground color? Yeah, full color, and we can read it. So we can just read the foreground color, whatever the text, it defaults to green. So I can just call that full color, and the background is color dot black. Don't know why you need a background color for a line. I just think all of them have that. So that's how it'll draw the green line. And then for the orange line, we'll go down here. And that's the current one. Tab to indent that. And this is going to be line current grams. So, and that's not equal to current max. Oh, prev current. And there's our Y, and and we want to draw this in orange, color orange, right? So you can guess what's going to go wrong with this. Because I'm just drawing lines, I'm never removing them. So let's see what happens. Oh, we need to see. There's no point in using it if we never set it. Prev current equals Y, and this one here, prev max equals Y. Y, and horizontal line, what I type wrong? Display horizontal line didn't work. Oh, am I doing something wrong? Can I not spell? What's my typo? No matching overload. Probably full color here. Because it's a uint, not a color. But it says, I think it is a uint. Let's go have a look at this. So we can right click on that. If we no matching overlaid, yeah, it should be int, and then color. So let's see what's wrong with that. 0 is an int. That's an int. Pixel width should be an int. Yes, int. And then, oh, there is no background color. I was wrong. Why am I thinking there's a background color? You're drawing a line, it's solid. There's no background color for lines. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Damn it. I deleted it from the wrong place. I needed to delete it from here. And not from here. Build that. All right. So when I pull this, we're going to see lines appearing, but they're not going to vanish. So we still need a bit more logic. Line current grams not defined. Really? Because I made a typo again. I'm just full of typos. Yes. What would I have done if I was born in an era before undo, before computers? It would be a bit more of a struggle. Why would it have been less sloppy? Who knows? Okay, generating it. F5 to run to launch the debugger. Control F5 to run. There's our tar set on the screen. And then as I pull it, we get a weight and we get some bars happening. And yes, it's drawing even, not capable of drawing the green very well. I mean, because it just draws over it with orange every time. So how do we fix all that? First problem is the orange is being drawn over the green every time, no matter what. So we can fix that. By just maybe drawing it one line below if they're the same. So if they're at exactly the same place, if line grams is equal to line current grams is equal to line max grams, then I'm going to let's do it on this side, because otherwise we might draw outside the screen. So if they before calculating it, then we'll just make line max grams be one less maybe. So now at least we should see our green line. Let's see if that works. So yeah, I like coding like this on a sort of a iterative level so that you don't have to be perfect. You can just sort of work it through as you go. So I'm hoping that we have a green line up here above the orange bar right now. So let's see what happens. And we do. So the green line's always at the top. So that's working. But it's still not ideal because we're not wiping out the ones after we've drawn them. So let's make that improvement now. And that is why another reason we kept the prev values. So here we can go, before we draw a line, we want to remove the previous one. So we want to draw the previous one, which would have been at prev max. At prev max, we want to draw that one as black. But we don't want to draw it as black when it's -1, when it hasn't been set yet. So we'll say if that's not equal to -1. Then we're going to wipe it out before we draw it. And then we can do the same thing for this line here. And except that it's not prev max, it's prev current. Right, so this should make those lines disappear, and it's going to start to make more sense now. And then I think I have one more change I want to do about before I wrap this video up after this change. And I'm just going to Control F5 to run in the monitor. I don't need to have the debugger open since I'm not using it. And it saves me a step. So in the monitor, that's the uploading of the program, and then it's successful and starts running, clears the screen, let's pull. So there we go. So as it drops below, you see it there. And as we pull up, actually I can see two lines because it's one below the other, but there you can see the current line right next to the high point. So we release, we start again, down low. So it starts down low again, and then there's a green above the orange. There we go. So I want to do one more thing, and that is if you release now, it keeps that last orange line. So when you release and there's only a green number at the top, I want to get rid of the orange line that's remaining as well because it doesn't mean anything. So that you should be able to tell what I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do it in last here. So I can just do, well, I could just cut and paste this into there. But I only want to draw the black one. So instead, what I can do is move this out of the if statement, because I don't want to cut and paste code that's, make two copies of the code. I've got two things to maintain. So if I just put it out there, now it'll draw it every time. But what I actually want to do is I only want to draw I only want to draw the black. I want to draw the black every time, and I only want to draw this here if it's not the last time. There we go. That should do it. And we'll build that, and that should make the orange disappear when I release the pressure on the scale. So we only end up, the greens are the final reading of the maximum. Okay, let's Control F5 that. Let's grab our scale. Okay, and now if I pull, I can see I can make that bottom line by releasing it. And now if I release completely, it vanishes. Perfect. Let's do another one. So as I pull, it goes up. The reason that line looks funny on the screen is because there's actually an orange line being drawn just below the green one. You can't really see it on the camera that easily. Maybe I can get it in focus if I move it further away. Make it more crisp. Let's see if we can get it crisp. Don't really think it's going to help. No, you can't really see that. It's actually an orange line just below the green line when it looks yellow like that. And then when I release, it vanishes. All right. So I'm going to call that good. Basically the end of the project. That's kind of where I wanted to get to with it. And then I'm going to add one more bonus video on the end, which is to put it on a different device. And that'll be very quick. I'll have all the wiring done before. And I'll just walk, I'm not going to do a full tutorial video. I'm just going to show you the differences of how you would now do a hardware abstraction to run it on a different microcontroller and with a different display. So it's not going to be super detailed. It's just going to show just the differences. So thank you for watching.